If you're planning to study or work in the UK right now, pause. The version of abroad in your head is 10 years old. Fees are higher, the rules are tighter. And what actually breaks first? It's not what you think. By the time most people realize it, they've already taken the loan and booked the flight. I've lived it. And the game today is very different. Right now, the tuition fees students are paying don't even compare to what we paid 12 to 15 years ago. If I paid around £12,000 for my master's degree, today you're paying up to £25,000 for the same degree. Even fees for home students have gone up significantly, and around 52% of the kids coming out of UK schools aren't going to university at all. That has changed the demographics inside universities. So, what that means in practice is that Indian students today are meeting far more Indian and Asian students on their courses in the UK. So, the kind of exposure you expect from studying abroad has reduced inside lecture theatres. On top of that, with coursework, AI has pushed people to think later and go straight to tools first. Many students even outsource their master's dissertation, and yes, universities are aware of it. That might get you the degree, but it won't help when you apply for jobs. Employers aren't stupid. Part-time jobs are no longer about gaining experience. They're a necessity because of how expensive life has become in England. You might also get a post-study work visa, but that's an extra cost. So if you're taking an education loan, you really need to think about the financial load you're signing up for. When I was a student in the UK, fees were still high, but the exposure was on another level. I can't even count the number of countries I met people from. And honestly, that experience taught me more than most of my coursework. Back then, coursework was rigorous. Sure, some students still tried to Google things at the last minute, but plagiarism was taken very seriously. I'm sure universities still have controls today, but with AI, a lot of the syllabus has become redundant. Universities may still award you a degree even if your dissertation is outsourced, largely because international students bring in a lot of money. I remember Chinese students coming to class with Louis Vuitton bags while I showed up with an unattractive backpack. The home students and EU students kept me grounded and integrated, but they are going to be a minority now. Even today, getting a degree is mostly a tick box in the job process. It increases your perceived value, but it doesn't automatically make you more useful at work. From my own degrees, what helped me most was the analytical way of thinking, not the actual content of the modules. If I were you, I would do these three things while studying. Number one, build a proper hands-on skill portfolio. Not just remote work or online courses, involve people. In the world we're moving into, soft skills carry far more weight than people realize. Number two, apply beyond just the UK. Look at Europe and other countries too. Even home students are struggling, and they will be given priority, and rightly so. Number three, work out a financial plan early. Be very clear about how you'll repay your loan if the first two things don't work out. You don't want to drift into debt. Start working on this plan while you're still studying. The truth is, the value of a foreign degree today is much lower now than it was 10 years ago. If you're trying to get a job now, you can't play the same game people played back then. The job situation for immigrants was never great, but today you're far more exposed. Employers now more cautiously look at what you create when they give you an assignment during the interview process, and more importantly, how you create it. I've never really agreed with the interview process to begin with. The system is flawed everywhere, but right now, those flaws affect candidates more than ever. Let's be honest, if you're using AI to write an email or build a presentation, do you really think people don't know it? Of course, you can use AI, but to get selected, you will still need subject knowledge and the ability to explain how and why you build something. What really gets tested now is your thinking. How you interpret what AI gives you, where you see problems in that solution, what could realistically happen in the industry that you're applying to. That mix of logic and instinct only comes with experience. On top of that, you will also need to know how to deal with people. Communication and people skills matter far more than any psychometric tests you pass, and frankly, these tests should be scrapped. Even CEOs and CTOs have admitted to failing them. They're just not a good measure of real ability. So yes, use AI, but it's the curveball interview questions that you really need to get good at. When I got my first job, I was earning peanuts. Even back then, a top university didn't automatically equal a great or well-paid job. The difference now is that this gap hurts a lot more because the cost of living in the UK has shot up and the salaries haven't kept up. If you don't get a job abroad, India doesn't really value just a foreign degree or part-time work experience. So do work abroad and then come back if you're planning, because you'll have more negotiating power, as most Indian companies still will ask you for your last 3 months of payslip. As you would know, it's clearly an employer's market right now everywhere, including India, and you'll realize that it's not easy to get a job anywhere. If I were you, I would do these 3 things if I was applying for jobs in the UK or already working there. Number 1, improve your interview game. Talk to people who have already secured jobs in your field. AI alone won't help you. You are far more exposed now, and how you communicate matters more than any skill. Number 2, start investing from your first salary. I made the mistake of starting very late. Learn from finance creators if needed, but start as early as you possibly can. Number 3, don't delay applying for jobs in India if things aren't working out. If you come back after your post-study work visa has expired, your value in the job market will be lower. So don't wait too long to make that move. Most companies are not hiring students on a post-study work visa because they are prioritizing home students. Of course, if they don't find the right person, they will hire whoever is best suited for the role. But right now, that's not something you should rely on. The criteria for ILR and other visas has changed, the minimum salary requirement has gone up, and the timeline to apply for ILR has changed. They have put stronger guardrails in place. It may feel unfair, but given the number of illegal immigrants and the people living on benefits, this was bound to happen. When I was in England, the visa rules were strict then as well, and I was in highly specialized jobs, which was exhausting. I also met people who had immigrated illegally. You'll find them in grocery stores, hardware stores, driving cabs, and in many other places. The influx has now reached a point that there are protests. And yes, people do exploit the benefit system, even when they're eligible. I lived a pretty nomadic life in London. In about 6.5 years, I changed 15 flats. When I just moved to London, I lived in my first flat for only about 2 months before moving out after getting a job. And I almost moved into this flat because the rent was low and the area was still good. But the woman told me that she couldn't give me a contract because if you're on benefits, you can't sublet it. But she didn't say that. I was naive then, but thankfully I spoke to my father. He told me that this was illegal and I shouldn't enter into any arrangement without valid paperwork. He was obviously right. If I were you and I had just completed a degree abroad, I would do these 3 things. Number 1, get the post-study work visa and try your luck. Don't rush back to India immediately after your degree. Give yourself a fair shot in the job market. Number 2, be obsessive about paperwork. Whether it's your visa, accommodation, or job contract, protect yourself legally at all times. No shortcuts. Number 3, don't go on benefits. Please don't. Invoke the fire in your belly. There is more purpose in your life than getting stuck in the comfort of benefits. Thank you very much for watching my video till the end. I'll see you in the next one.